Hi y'all, welcome back. On today's video, we're doing something a little different because it's geared towards all the guys out there. I'm Tammy Hackman. This is GroFit with Tammy, the YouTube channel where I teach you my how-tos, tips, and tricks that have kept me feeling fit and fabulous as I'm nearing 50 years old. If you're new here, hit subscribe because I release my videos each week. I don't want you to miss them. Also down below in the description, there are links to my lifestyle and health videos you may have not seen, as well as more yoga routines, because I want you to feel fit and fabulous no matter what stage of life's journey you're on. Let's get started. So guys, maybe you were thinking yoga's just for women, but now you're giving it a second look. That's right, don't say anything bad about yoga in front of Shaq O'Neal or LeBron James, or NFL greats Victor Cruz or Ray Lewis, because they all make yoga part of their physical fitness regime. And the All Blacks, the famous rugby team from New Zealand, they have a personal yoga instructor to help their team reach their peak of physical performance. So yes, yoga is for men and women. But my husband's not so flexible, and I've heard other men say, I can't do yoga, I'll look like a fool out there. Well, I want to help introduce you to 8 basic yoga poses and give you some adjustments so that you can feel comfortable making a yoga practice your own. We can come to our yoga mat for greater mobility and flexibility in our joints and lengthen our muscles that may have contracted and shortened from all the bodybuilding that's going on out there. And what about a greater sense of calm? Who doesn't want that? To be able to focus throughout the day, to help deal with anxiety and depression symptoms, as well as get a better night's sleep. That's what I come to the yoga mat for, and that's what it gives me, and that's what I want for you as well. Let's begin. Pose number 1 is called mountain pose. It's a standing position. You're going to put your feet together, toes touching, but your heels coming apart maybe 2 to 3 inches depending on the length of your foot. And what that's going to do is give you a slight turn inward of your thighs. You want to keep a slight micro bend in your knees, don't lock them up all the way. And then from there, come to your pelvic bone. What we're going to do is correct our position here and rotate it back. There we go. And that in turn will help pull the belly button in back towards the spine. And if you have a nice big beer belly that you've worked hard on, you want to tighten those muscles. This is a good way to stand throughout the day. Feel yourself relaxing and slouching, correct that. Bring your pelvic bone, rotate it back, hold in those muscles, and that gives you a little workout right there, strengthening and tightening the core from the inside out. And then let's keep continuing up. I have nice rounded shoulders here. I'm going to lift them, roll them back, and then as they come together, I'm going to bring them down away from my shoulders. So this is my alignment up to here, and now for the head. Imagine, if you will, you have a cord coming through the crown of your head, pulling you towards the ceiling, which is going to bring your head back all day long. We might be walking or sitting, looking down. We need to correct that and give a counter pose for our neck and head. I'm now going to turn my palms as they're hanging by my sides towards the front. And this completes the standing posture for mountain pose. Next, we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. We're going to start inhaling and exhaling through our nose, and I want you to just begin doing that now. And as you feel your breath going in and out, however shallow or long and deep you're able to do it, just listen and follow your breath. Good, and from here, let's increase to an inhale of count of 4 and exhale a count of 6. Do the best you can. All right, let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue. You can close your eyes, exhale, soften your brow. Inhale, lengthen. Once again, bring any corrections to your posture that may have gone lax. And last exhale. There you go. That's mountain pose. Position number 2 is a forward fold. For this one, I want you to bring your feet to hip width distance apart, parallel to each other. And we're going to end up putting our weight mostly towards our toes. So what I want you to do is hinge from your hips. We're going to bend over, bringing our chest towards our thigh, bending at our hips, not rounding our back or overextending our neck in towards the chest. Let me show you from the side. So we're going to inhale and lengthen, bend your knees, and then start to exhale and hinge from your hips, folding forward as far as you can. Now, if this is as far as you can get, you can use stacks of books to put under your hands, or if you have yoga blocks, use that on the tallest position to give yourself some stability. What I want you to do is balance your weight slightly towards the front, towards your toes, so you're expanding your toes, really gripping into the ground. Again, I'm going to fold, and with my knees bent, you can bend as much as you need to bring your chest. If you have extra skin here that's in your way, you can grab it, tuck it in as you fold as well to give yourself more space to get as close as you can to your thighs. And again, we're going to fold, and another option is to grab your outer elbows. So if I grab my outer elbows, my head is then dangling between my arms. Gravity's giving a little help here, pulling me down. So I'm inhaling and lengthening, exhaling, folding. And when you're ready to come out, gently roll up vertebrae by vertebra as you come up slowly, and using your breath again to stabilize you. It's not easy at first, staying extended amounts of time upside down, but that does help you to get more oxygen into the brain. It gives you greater focus, clarity, helps you deal with anxiety and depression, as well as lengthening and stretching your hamstrings and your calves and your back, taking the pressure off your back. If you have lower back pain, it can help with that. Coming down to the floor for position 3, this is cat-cow pose. We start off in what we call a tabletop position, where you tuck your toes under your feet and you place your hips above your knees, hip width apart, and then you want to put your hands underneath your shoulders, spreading your fingers, really grounding them into the mat. And some of these might be quite new for you, and it hurts to stretch your toes that much under you. So from here, cat-cow. What we're going to do is inhale, looking up to the ceiling, and at the same time, depending on how flexible your back is, what I'm going to do is rotate my pelvic bone the opposite direction we were standing to allow it to sag like a cow. Inhale, exhale, doing the opposite position. We're going to curl up, roll up like an angry cat, but tucking our chin towards our chest. Inhaling, and here just go with your own breath. Don't make the movements too quick, because we want to continue with our slower breathing, focusing on our inhale and your exhale. And that is cat-cow position. Position number 4, we're going into the downward dog, which is something you're probably familiar with if you watch any movies or someone in the household does yoga. What we're going to do is push away from the mat, keeping our toes and our hands in the same position. So I'm going to begin pushing my tailbone up towards the ceiling, and what I'm going to do is bring my chest in towards my thighs. Your heels, you want to stretch them down towards the mat as much as you can. You can ease into this position by cycling or pedaling your feet one at a time. So here I'm pushing down my left heel as I push away from the mat with my hands, bringing my chest towards my thighs and my tailbone up, extended and pointing backwards and towards the ceiling. Now, it would be quite normal to feel some strain in your wrists in this position, but over time, you will really see a strengthening, and it doesn't take long, even just a few yoga practices. You'll feel your wrists, your ankles, and your knees all strengthening, and you'll feel less discomfort as you're in these positions. This is actually a resting position when you're doing a yoga sequence. So we're doing an inverted V here. Really, I think this is what looks like a mountain. So you're pushing away with the goal someday to bring your heels to the mat. Usually the classes I'm in, it seems everyone else has their heels to the mat. Mine still are not, but that's okay. Because my body is unique. And I love my body. All right, to come out, you can go back to your hands and knees. And to rest, this is our last position. This is child's pose. You can go into this at any point when you're working with this video. This is a resting pose. You can bring your hands behind. So my toes are overlapping. We'll go over this again at the end. My chest is down, just let gravity pull you down. Now you're ready for pose number 5. From the downward dog, if you're not there, let's go back. And what I want you to do is inhale, bringing your knee back and up, and then in towards your chest, and step down as close as you can get it between your hands. We can readjust if you didn't make it there. And then this is basically our lunge position. What I want to do is keep my knee above my ankle. I don't want to overextend it. I don't want to go over my toes. I want to have a 90 degree angle here. And then using my hands to anchor myself and push up and put my chest onto my right thigh. Now, if you're not able to reach this position just yet and need more support, then that stack of books you were using earlier for the forward bend, you can bring those under and stack yourself as high or low as you need. Again, yoga blocks have 2 positions. You can make them higher or lower for extra support. And what you want to do is adjust your back foot to help you get the right angle here, and then lengthen your breath. What you want to do is inhale through your nose, lengthen your spine. Exhale. Let's correct our position. I want you to bring your right hip back and your left hip forward, trying to distribute your weight evenly between your front and back foot. Again, hold this as long as you can. When you need to come out, you can come back down on your hands. And I'm going back into downward dog. And then from here, the other side, inhale, my foot forward, left foot forward this time. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen my spine. And exhale. You want to keep your knee over your ankle. You don't want to allow your leg to fall out for this high lunge position. And we want to rotate our hips so that our hips are parallel to the mat. We want to correct it if we're hinging and swaying one side or the other. A mirror or a friend are helpful here to help you correct your position so you get good alignment. Inhale, exhale. And again, I'm going to come out using my downward dog position and release back down to the floor. Our 6th position is a wide-legged forward fold. So here you can see I've opened up my stance. I've got my feet parallel to each other, But what I'm going to do is open up my heels slightly, as we did in our second position, the forward fold with our feet together. So here I have my feet wider apart, much wider than hip width distance, and I can feel my inner thighs rotating slightly inward because I've changed my position. Naturally, you probably want to put your toes out, but instead of even just parallel, just slightly extend your heels outward. And then from here, put your hands on your hips, rotate that pelvic bone backward, your shoulders up and back. So we're lengthening and correcting our position. And again, we're going to poke that tailbone out, back, and towards the ceiling. So we're going to hinge over from the hips. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling as we fold. I want you to make sure your knees have a micro bend in them. Exhaling, down, 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 as far as you can go. And if you can, bring your hands out in front of you. You need it for balance. That would be quite all right. And then I'm going to walk them back as much as you can go, either between your feet or under your shoulders, as we inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, and stretch. You can also use your props in this position to give you support if you're not able to come down low enough for your hands to reach the mat. This is just the basic position. From here, there's twists and other poses we can go into, but I just want to work on this basic lengthening from the crown of your head as you inhale and exhaling, hinging from the hips, keeping a micro bend in your knees. Continue inhaling and exhaling. And then again, to come out, if you can, bring your hands up to your hips, bend your knees, and slowly roll back up with great control. Awesome. The seventh position I want to show you is called Warrior One. It's a really energizing pose that helps you with your focus as you position yourself. Come to the front of your mat, feet facing forward, and from here I want you to step back with your foot at a 90-degree angle. So I have one foot facing, toes pointing forward to the front of the mat. The other one is parallel with the back of the mat. Open your stance, and then as you do it, we're going to rotate our hips forward towards the front of the mat. So you can lengthen or shorten your stance to help you position your hips so that you can bend forward with your right knee and turn your hips towards the front of the mat. So you can feel the back outside edge of your foot wanting to lift away. I want you to spread those toes and ground your foot back into the mat, distributing your weight between your front and your back leg. Don't want you to feel like one side's doing all the work and you're trembling. With your hands, what you do after you've adjusted your hips is you're going to steady yourself. If balance is really difficult, you can put your hands on your hips, even on your knee, as long as you roll those shoulders back and lengthen. So you can get some support here on your hips, but your goal is to steady yourself and inhale your arms up over your shoulders parallel. And then you inhale and exhale as you bend forward into this lunging position and release. And for the other side, why don't we just pivot? We'll rotate. So from this wide stretch here, I'm going to pivot my left toes facing the back of the mat, and now my right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. I'm going to lean in and lunge forward and rotate my hips towards the front of the mat. Again, adjust your stance so that you feel like you can really turn your hips and position them towards your left toes facing now this front of our mat. When you're ready, balance yourself either straightening your spine and using your left thigh, putting your hands on your hips so that you can really feel your pelvic bone tilting back again. And then inhale your arms up when you're ready, whenever you're able to accomplish this. And as you're lengthening and focusing in on your breath, remember to distribute your weight, grounding your whole foot to the mat for the front foot and your back, really pressing the outer edge of your right foot into the mat. So as you're in these positions, you're constantly being aware of your body, repositioning your alignment, lengthening more, extending more. That's what gives us the calming, focusing effect of yoga. And release, hands down. You can pivot back to the front or the side of your mat with me. Child's pose. For this final resting position, I want to give you a couple variations. This is the open or wide leg child's pose. I have my two big toes touching or overlapping each other. I'm going to sit down on my heels as much as I can. The tops of my feet are pushed against the mat, so my toes are now extended, not tucked under. And then you just walk your hands forward, folding down as much as you can. You can rest on your elbows. If you can, put your forehead to the ground. If you're not able, again, use those props, a stack of books under your forehead, a thick, heavy cushion that will support you. And once you've walked your fingers out, you can give another long, nice stretch here to your shoulders, opening your chest. To come to the restful pose, you just exhale your arms down to the mat. And in this one, you're just working and pushing your tailbone down towards your feet, your chest towards the ground. You can put a pillow or rolled up blanket under your chest as well for extra support. If you feel like you're just hanging too high and not able to get down, you can support yourself here so that you can get the restfulness of this position. Another variation, and when you come up, see I just brought my hands under my shoulders to push up again. You can try this as well, bringing your knees together. And again, if you have extra belly here, you can tuck it in so that you can fold. And here you can put your hands forward and then relax them, or bring them around back by your feet and really cuddle up in a little ball here. Forehead to the ground or pillow or rolled blanket. And just in this position, allow your breath to come back to normal. And release. Release muscles. In every position, you're going to activate some of your muscles, and wherever you feel any pressure, you really want to breathe into that area. Picture your breath going there and relieving the tension. You want to try to relax as much as you can, even in activated positions where you're really extending and lengthening. And to come out, bring your palms of your hands under your shoulders and gently press yourself back up to a seated position. Don't jump up and stand up right away. Allow yourself a few breaths, and then you can come back up to a standing position. I'm so glad you joined me today. If this was the first step in your yoga journey, yay you, celebrate it. And come back to this video again and again, because it will become more comfortable for you to quickly go into these positions and gain your balance and control and know where to focus, what to do. So as you get this comfort, you can then, if you want, do yoga flows that will make you feel like an accomplished yogi. That's it for today. I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing any comments you might leave me below. I want to keep this rapport going. Any questions, any insights you've had during this time together. I want to walk your journey with you as much as I can. Until next time, bye y'all.